Alright, welcome back everybody. We're going to do a product review on this product right here, and this is a distiller. Now I have a lot of experience with distilled water and using distillers. I use quite a bit of distilled water actually. I cook with it. I almost bathe in it, to be honest with you. But I have a lot of experience with them, so this product was sent to me to give it an overview, run it through, do an unboxing. Let's open this up. So yeah, you'll get this booklet. I'm not going to go through the whole booklet with you. It's just a basic user manual. You're going to get some stuff here. I'm going to show you how to assemble this. Alright, you get this little tube in this package, a little bing and a bang and a boom. You're going to get this contraption here. This is probably what the holds the charcoal. And yes, you do have to use charcoal to filter this unit. All distilled water needs to go through a charcoal filter because you want to make sure you get out all the VOCs, volatile organic compounds. Okay, they're giving you, this is a cleaner. It's probably ascorbic acid or citric acid. It's either citric or ascorbic acid. It's not harmful to you. You can use this like once after every 4 or 5 distillations. You would generally put whatever the measured amount is to put in there. I think it's usually like a teaspoon. You get a plug. Okay, now this is the top. Now don't throw your box in the garbage. Keep your box in case there's something wrong with the unit or you have to return it for whatever reason. Don't get rid of the box. I usually hold my boxes for about a year. Okay, so this is how it comes. We're going to take the plastic off it. It's really nice. I like the concept, the packing design of this idea. Is a really good, smart idea. I was fitting there very well. Their engineers must have really worked that one out. This is an atypical type of design for your kitchen. So basically you have your plug on one side for the unit, all right? So your head, right? Your head will plug into there. This is your head right here. That's gonna plug into here. And then this plugs into your wall. And over here you got a light that shows you it's on. And this button here, what this is, there's no on-off switch to any of these units. They never, I don't know why they don't. None of these kitchen units do this, but they all have a thermal overload in here, and that's what this is. This is what it looks like on the inside. Nice and clean, pure stainless steel. Of course, you're gonna wanna wash it out. Okay, so here's the head. It's a nice head, by the way. It's got a fan in the top. You can see it's got a nice fan up here. And basically, your coil is right in here. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, you see right in there, that's your coil. It's a fin tube. And basically, it's just your condensing coil. It's just the water evaporates, right? Comes up inside here, goes up in this well, goes all the way through here, the steam, and then it condenses from the fan blowing on it, and then it turns to water and drips out of here. So basically, all you got to do with this thing, and this is the way they all work like this. Remember, there's your plugs on the side right here. All you got to do is put this on top, just like this, and then this thing should come off. Okay, that comes off. They all come off. Every unit does the same thing. There's already a charcoal package in here. This is activated charcoal. It's actually really important you have charcoal and you use this. Now I use one of those pure picture filters. So after I make my gallon of water, I dump it into my pure water pitcher, which has another charcoal filter on it. So it gets filtered one more time through charcoal. And the purpose of this is we, even though it's distilled, there's nothing in it. We want to try to make sure that we absolutely remove these volatile organic compounds, these halogens. And they could be even more dangerous after you distill them if you don't remove them. You want to make sure you get that out of the water. That's very, very important. So they give you the charcoal. This is very important for you. If you're not going to charcoal, like I could get away without using this because I'm going to use the pure pitcher, right? The pure filter. But if you're not using that, you have to at least use this. You got to have at least this. You got to make sure you get those VOCs out of there. I'm not sure how this works, but it comes out basically like that, and then I see. So inside there's a little, you can't see it, but inside there's a little lip here, so you got to get underneath that lip and just pop that in like this, and that's good. This is better than my unit. I have another another common design, very similar to this, very common design. I like this better. This is way better. The one I got, it's a plastic thing, it's junky. It's not as big as this. This is nice. This is very, very nice, guys. This is, I like it better than my current unit right now. Very, very nice. And so like I told you before, there's the two plugs here, right? So one plug is going to go in here and one's going to go in there. One's a male and one's a female, right? Because they made it so you can't mess it up. So this gets plugged into here, no big deal. So what they did is this top is basically going to come with two pieces. One is going to be this piece, and that's the piece, right? See what it looks like? And that just sits on top. It's not doing anything more than sitting there. And that's what the one you're going to use when you're actually filling it up and getting water. They give you a tube in here too, by the way. They give you this tube. You could just go right into it, basically. But the reason why they give you a lid is because it's coming out of here hot. If it'll evaporate out of there a little bit, so you don't necessarily want that to happen. So they want you to put this thing on here like this. Take your little tube thing, right? And basically that's it. And that guarantees you it's not going to spill, because I've had that happen to me already. If you don't set this up right, the water will drip past the thing, and then next thing you know, there's water all over the floor. Right, so I've had that happen to me with my other unit, but they give you these tubes just to make sure it doesn't happen to you. In my particular case, I'm very comfortable with this equipment. I know how to use these, so I myself wouldn't be using this, so we're going to take that off. And we're going to distill it straight away, just like that. As long as if that's in there, you're good. And then when you're done, you would just take this off. And you put that on top just to keep the air out of it. Now, again, in my case, I keep one of those pure water filters where you put the water in and then it goes through the charcoal filter. This is about a gallon, so it's going to fill up one of those water filters, and you're generally pretty good. So it's not sitting in here. It's not bad if it is. It's just this lid isn't sealed tight, and if you were to drop it or knock it over, you're going to get water on the floor, right? With my pure filter, it's sealed in tight, and the water's not going to come out. So in general, once you're done with it, you want to take the water from here and put it into your pure pitcher, or whatever one you use, and just put the water into there. I recommend actually if you could get the 1.5 gallon ones, those are actually better, because you always want to keep at least a 1.5 gallon on hand. And then that way you free this jar up so you can do the next one. Now that all of that good stuff's done, now here's the handle assembly. Okay, so here is the handle assembly, and it looks relatively pretty easy to do. Just do not do this at home, because I like to work with hatchets. And unfortunately, that's all I got on hand. So don't follow what I do. Don't do as I do, just do as I say. Okay, so it comes with two. I just want to show you that the lid does come off for cleaning purposes, right? If you're generally pretty clean and the only thing that goes in here is distilled water, you don't generally have to keep cleaning it. So don't open it unnecessarily. But yeah, you can get in there to clean it, so you know, in case you have to. You want to put the handle, right? Because there's a wide side on the bottom and then there's a short side over here, right? So we want the short side to the top. All right, so anyway, there's a bend in it. We want to make sure that that bend is literally sitting like this, almost backwards to it. That's how this has to go in here. So let's put it on. Wow, it's about 140 degrees up here right now. Okay, so we're going to do the same with the other side. Again, you can see it, this metal comes like this, right? You can see how it comes like that, right? With the bend. We want to make sure that that bend is, we're bending it backwards. It comes the other way, but this is the way we want it. All right, so we're going to take your screw, right? You're gonna go like this, bang it a bang. You see what I did? You see how it goes on here? That's how you got to do it. Again, you don't have to leave this on here. You can take this off. I like the idea of the plastic because, believe me when I tell you, I almost broke a couple of these slamming it down accidentally because the pot's heavy. It's, you know. So basically, you just tighten that up. Oh, and you want to line the handle up, obviously, with the hole. So when you put the handle in there, it's lined up with the hole so you can pour it nice, right? So you want to make sure you line that handle up and just tighten it up. You're done. Yeah, just give it a little tighten with your screwdriver. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make it too permanent right now because I have to. I got to get a regular screwdriver. I don't have anything on hand here. But this is good enough. This will get it tight enough. Okay, so that's what we end up with in the end. Now this is heavy, very thick glass. This isn't cheap and thin like a coffee maker. Very thick. Okay, so let's fill this up. Plug that in. Let's fill that up and we'll run that and then I'll come back and then we'll see what the water tastes like. All you got to do is just basically lift it off. Right? Just turn that upside down. Take your jug. Now use two hands because this is going to be real heavy. If you've got arthritis, I like this. There's a fill line in here. You see that fill line? You can actually bring that water up to that fill line. So I'm a little lower than that. That's fine. Take your ordeal like that. Put your thing in the majinga down there. Just give it a little push down. It's a nice seal here too, by the way. My other one doesn't seal as good as this. This seals very nice. Very nice. It's a pretty high quality piece of equipment, guys. This is better than the one I got. And I paid $300 or $400 for that one. This one here is better than that. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the quality of the equipment. You could also see here, I want to point this out. There's a rubber seal around where the plugs are. You see this seal? There's like a rubber seal, very similar to the rubber that's on the bottom of this pot. Very similar to that rubber. It's a seal, and they seal all the electronics in here so it doesn't get wet. It's a safety thing. You're going to be fine for the most part, but just for safety, they actually put a seal around it, which my other unit doesn't have. With this cord here, as you look at it, right? You see this? It's a little longer than the cord that's on mine now. I can barely get my top off without having to unplug it and just turn it upside down like this. Right? Because I just want to unplug it, fill it with water, and then take it and then put it back on. That's all I want to do. I don't want to sit here unplugging these things because these things can break eventually, right? So you eliminate that by leaving it plugged in. We're going to start this baby up. First thing I want to do is plug it in. But before I do that, I just want to show you, this is how it's going to go. You're going to put your ordealio in here. And in my particular case, I'm just going to keep this up on here. I don't need to put the hose in there. But if you want for extra security, they provide you with a piece of rubber hose here. And you can just stick this hose in here, right? And you can attach it like so, right? You can put out. For me, it's not necessary. I've been doing this for a long time. I know how to distill water. For me, I just take this lid. You don't even have to put the lid on here. You can leave it off and just let it drip right into the top. But this will be hot and it will keep evaporating. So you lose water when you do that. So they give you this so you don't lose water, right? So you just slide that in on top of it just like that. And then what we do here, we plug that in and it's running. If you plug it in and it's not running, there's a button on the side here. Right? That button, you would hit it and then it will run. That button, again, that button is just a thermostatic control switch. When this thing gets hot, when it runs out of water, it cuts the power to it. It's a breaker, like a circuit breaker. And then that's all it does. And then when you fill it up with water, now, just so you know, with these units in general, I can run these units without doing a cleaner on it well over a dozen times. Again, my water's not really hard. But if you're getting a lot of crystallization, a lot of film, a lot of material building up in there, and you're doing about 1 run of this a day, 1 to 2 runs of this a day, and you're getting a lot of material, then you need to clean your unit a lot more. But with me, what I do is, once I'm done distilling it, I just take my basic simple scouring pad and I just go around it like that, really good once it's done, before there's any crust build up on side. I just go in there, go around it once, twice, go, you know, I got like a stainless steel Brillo pad, right? But you don't want to overdo it, but just enough to give it a little scraping, a little bit on the bottom, run it onto the water, and the thing's, it's basically cleaned. It's not 100%, but it's good enough. If you do that, you can get away with doing distilled water runs, probably 100 of them before you have to clean it, because eventually that calcium will build up on the inside of there a little bit. Eventually it does build up, and it gets to a point where you're going to have to run this in here. Now when you use this, it's very simple. You just fill it up with water like we just did. You're going to take the recommended amount. It's probably like a teaspoon. You dump it in there, and you don't put the top on it. I believe you leave it off, and you just let it boil for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. And then once that's done, you rinse it out. All that scale that's in there, basically this ascorbic acid or whatever this is, will break that down like instantly. It melts that hard crust very quickly. Okay, so it's been a few hours later, and basically this unit, as opposed to some of my other stuff and some of the other distillers I've used, this unit basically got this container of water distilled in about 2.5 to 3 hours, somewhere in that range. Whereas my other distillers, they take like maybe 4 hours to 5 hours. So that's pretty fast for this distiller to make that water. So let's give it a quick taste test. Pour a little glass. See what that tastes like. Cheers. Very good. Tastes like excellent distilled water. What I would recommend you do is you cycle 1 or 2 cycles of distilled water before you start drinking out of it. I'll leave the links in the description below where you can pick it up. See if I can get you a discount code. It'll also be down there. I don't know what the discount code is. If I do include the discount code in this video, it'll be right below where you can see it down here. If not, it'll be in the description. Can't go wrong, guys. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.